Hi everyone, I'm Lacey and welcome to Appeal TV. Coming up today, we'll have the weekly Beifuss movie review. But first, are you ready for 3 magical days, 4 big stages, and over 60 top artists? It's time for the 2007 Beale Street Music Festival. Commercial Appeal music critic Bob Mehr gives us a look into the career of one performer, Corinne Bailey Rae, and mentions a few acts you might want to see this weekend.
Hi, this is Bob Mehr, music critic with the Commercial Appeal, and you're listening to the music of Corinne Bailey Rae.
Just like an angel off the page, you have appeared to my life. Feel like I'll never be the same. Just like a song in my heart.
Corinne Bailey Rae is a British-born singer-songwriter from Leeds. She's broken big here in America over the last 9 months. And came here in advance of a lot of hype in England, where her record shot to #1, which was her debut album. And she's kind of in the mold of Norah Jones. She's a sort of pop soul songwriter with some jazz inflections in what she does. She actually has a pretty interesting background. She started out in indie bands in England in the mid-90s and mid and late 90s, and came close to a deal with her first band, Helen. And the band broke up. She started working as a hat check girl in a jazz and soul club in Leeds, and sort of got the encouragement to get on stage, started doing some jazz standards, and eventually unveiled her own material. And soon she was signed to EMI Records, which put out an EP of hers and then released her full length in early 2006. There was a good bit of advance hype in media circles about her, and she made some real notable television appearances, and she was actually predicted in an industry poll conducted by the BBC to be the sound of 2006, and it turned out to be correct. Her debut shot right to #1, and since then she's just sort of been picking up steam, not just in England but in a number of other continents. Her success has actually translated pretty well here in America, unlike a lot of British artists. She sold over 1 million records and was nominated for 3 Grammys this past year. Rae's had a lot of comparisons thrown her way, like Billie Holiday and Aretha Franklin. Her voice isn't quite that strong, but she does have a pretty interesting background in terms of coming up with a lot of R&B in her house from her father, and then kind of being in an indie band for a good decade. So it looks like her next record, which she's about to start writing this summer, could, be a little bit more of a jump than people are expecting. Most folks would have seen Rae performing at the Grammys this year. She was one of the spotlighted performers with John Mayer and John Legend. In fact, she's been touring with Legend the past few months as part of a package, which wraps up this week, just in time for Rae to perform at the Beale Street Music Fest. Her show is Sunday. Other highlights from the festival, which begins Friday, include a reunited Iggy Pop and the Stooges, Steely Dan doing their first tour in a few years, as well as Memphis perennials like Billy Lee Riley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and a really good quality selection of blues acts, including Alvin Youngblood Hart, Bobby Blue Bland, and many others.
You can read Bob Mehr's story in today's playbook, and Corinne Bailey Rae will perform Sunday on the Budweiser stage. We'll be right back with this week's movie review right after this.
Cadillac is the premier American luxury car, and as one of the country's premier luxury car dealers, Bud Davis Cadillac enjoys the same legacy. But to understand, you must first experience Cadillac. The 07 CTS is our best Cadillac value, available for just $299 a month, and forever in a league of its own. The Cadillac SRX, Car and Driver's best luxury SUV for 3 years in a row. Bud Davis Cadillac, online at buddaviscadillac.com.
Bud Davis Cadillac.
Spiderman 3 is hitting theaters today. Here's John Beifuss with this week's movie review.
Everybody looking, do the talk all over town.
Hi, this is John Beifuss, and I'm here today to talk about Spiderman 3. The latest Marvel Comics superhero sequel. And I'm sad to report that after spinning 2 wonderful superhero yarns, director Sam Raimi and his collaborators have finally begun running low on the web of inspiration.
I have to stop it. This substance amplifies aggression. Seems to like
Spider-Man 3 is fun, but it's overcrowded with characters, overbusy with subplots, and overstuffed with special effects that go way beyond the scope of believability. There's just too much here, probably because this allegedly is the most expensive American film ever produced, with a budget close to $300 million.
Harry, you knew this was coming.
The new characters include Thomas Hayden Church as Flint Marco, aka Sandman, an ex-con whose molecules have been grafted with those of silicate. The other new villain is Venom, a sort of globby symbiote from outer space who takes over Peter Parker's Spider uniform. I'm a Spider fan, but for the first time I feel let down by the latest Spider adventures. Spider-Man 3 was a disappointment, and I give it 2.5 stars. This is John Beifuss. Be sure to read my blog, The Bloodshot Eye, and I'll be back next week with more movie reviews.
Well?
Wow.
The world's most perfectly cut diamond. Thrills like no other. Hearts on fire.